This is section 6, derivative rules, example 6. So now that you know how to use the power rule and how to, deal with it with addition, subtraction, whatever, naturally there's going to be something to do with multiplication. And then the next thing we're going to do is division. Now with multiplication and division, it doesn't work the way that you would expect. So if you were given f of x equals 2x and g of x equals x cubed, they're both differentiable and their derivatives are 2 and 3x squared, respectively. If we were to multiply f of x by g of x, so 2x times x cubed is 2x to the 4th power. All right, and then to take the derivative, you'd put the 4 in the front, and you'd get 8x cubed. If you took the derivatives and multiplied them together, you'd get 2 times 3x squared, which is 6x squared. And so they're not actually equivalent. You don't take the derivative of each one. Instead, you use this rule. If you have two functions that are multiplied together and you're trying to take the derivative, you have the first function times the derivative of the second, and you add the second function times the derivative of the first. Okay? So you take the derivative of one and not the other and add it to the opposite of that. So it's actually very simple. Okay? So let's go ahead and do this. Now the first thing you want to do is identify which function is what. And you can see here that we have multiplication of two functions. We have 2x squared minus 4x, and we have 3x minus 5. And when we take the derivative, we're going to take the derivative of one and leave the other one the same. So let's go ahead and do that. Y prime is the derivative of the first one. So I would do that the normal way, the way that I always do it. Right, so I bring the 2 to the front, we get 4x minus 4 times the second one, which was just 3x minus 5, no change. Now we're doing the opposite. So plus the derivative of the second one, which is 3, times the first one, which is 2x squared minus 4x. Now, it does not matter what order you do it in. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is that they're both there. Because it's addition, addition is commutative, which means that you're allowed to take one and flip it with the other one, and addition still works. So that's all we really have to worry about. And then, of course, you can double distribute and combine like terms. So I'm just going to do that very, very quickly. It's not required if it's in a free response question, just like it's not required to simplify. But here we have 12x squared minus 20x minus 12x plus 20. Then we come over here and distribute the 3. So we have plus 6x squared minus 12x. And we combine like terms, and when we do, we will get 18x squared minus 44x plus 20. And just to prove my point, on the next one, I'm going to do it in the opposite direction. Okay, so first, second, I have the first one. So we have f prime of x is the first term times the derivative of the second, which is 2x, plus the second function times the derivative of the first function, which is 2x minus 1. And on this one, I'm just going to leave it like that. Because again, you can distribute it, but I'm going to trust that using your vast knowledge of algebra, you are capable of doing that on your own. And then for C, it looks super complicated because it's kind of long, but I'm not going to multiply everything out, so it's not going to be very complicated at all. So we have the first function times the second function. All right, so we have the first, f prime of x, is just the first function again, times the derivative of the blue function. So we have what? Negative 20x cubed plus 6x squared minus 14x plus 1 plus the second function, which is negative 5x to the 4th plus 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus x plus 2 times the derivative of the first function, which is just 6x minus 2. So it's not the actual rule that gets complicated, it's the multiplying everything out and combining like terms, which in essence is algebra, right? And what I'm going to tell you for the entire year, and what I probably already told you in class, is the hardest part of calculus is the algebra. The concepts are actually a lot simpler, generally speaking. All right, so for part D, the functions f and g are differentiable for all real numbers, and the table gives the values of the functions and their first derivatives at selected values of x. In this case, it happens to be x equals 2, which is helpful, because we need to find the derivative of y equals f times g and evaluate y prime of 2. So first, let's find y prime. Well, y prime is going to be the first function times the derivative of the second function plus the second function times the derivative of the first function. And we're trying to find it at 2. So y prime of 2 is going to be f of 2 times g prime of 2 plus g of 2 times f prime of 2. Now we're just plugging in numbers, and those numbers are given in the table. F of 2, according to the table, is -1. So we have -1. G prime of 2 is -4. G of 2 is 3. And f of 2 is 2. So that's what we're multiplying. So we have 4 plus 6, which is 10. And that's it.